Hello, everybody. Hello, Phil. I think, therefore, I bug. Hello. Welcome. Okay, so yeah, I'm getting everything set up. Whew. Man. So I came back recently from Zigtoberfest. What an adventure. Um, well, actually, compared to other things that I've done in recent times, there was a very laid back experience. Let's see if I have anything better to say. Maybe, you know what? We zoom out. Interesting that sometimes it bugs out. You know what? I'll keep it at this size. Let's gain some space. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna uh silence log spam. Fix Windows? Question mark. Hey, Parker Shinwell. Hello. And look at PRs. At issues. PRs. Yeah, I think these are the three things I'm gonna look into today during the stream. One second, sorry, I'm just wrapping up something. I'm like a message, an email, and then I'll be ready. Okay. Let's see. Hey Alison, hello, hello. Let's see. Fix Windows sounds like a big item. Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah, I we'll see if I can even just fix Zine for Windows. That's already tough enough for me. So let me see. Well, in any case, just as a quick recap, then I'm gonna go set up my cup of tea and actually start this stream for real. But in the meantime, check this out. So I went to the Zigtoberfest. It was a nice event. This is can I make this bigger? Will making this bigger make the picture also bigger? It did. You know what? Good enough. There were a bunch of people. It was like about 30 people, and 30 is a really good number for a first time event. Like that's good. You know what? It kind of goes to show that whenever I look at like my YouTube stats and similar things, number one type of audience, United States, but number two is usually Germany. So I think it shows that there's like some genuine interest, I guess, in Germany. Although, you know, that said, there were a good number of Germans. I would say that more than 50% of the people were Germans, but not that much more than 50. I was coming in from Italy. These guys were coming from Italy. There's people from the Netherlands. Komari Spaghetti was there. He was coming from oh god. Shout out to Felix, the OG German Ziguana. Yeah. He wasn't there though. I think he was busy because of family stuff. That's what happens when you reproduce, apparently. Komari Spaghetti was coming from, god damn it. Why am I having so much trouble remembering the name of the country? Is it Denmark? Man, that's embarrassing. It is Denmark. Oh man, I what city was the event hosted in? So this is where Komari Spaghetti was from. This is where I was from. Well, I guess Milan. Let me think. There were some people from the Netherlands. I think the rest were mostly from other places in Germany. Like some people were from Stuttgart. Well, if you're in the vicinity of Munich, that I guess doesn't count. Like you're pretty much a local. Let me think if there was anybody else from further away. You know what? Probably I might just not know about that. In any case, the city was Munich. There was this bad boy here, southern Germany. That's where it was held. And it was held at will I be able to remember where the place was? Oh no. I don't think I'm gonna be able to find the university on the map like this. I don't think it was this area. I think it was more north. I would have said something around this area, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Yeah, I don't know why I'm searching this way. More center? Really? More center than that? Let me see. Well, Oh yeah, it was definitely more center. So yeah, it was around here. It was in this building here. So this is where it was held. Pretty cool building. Outside, inside, pretty nice. Um, Neat. Also for people who happen to be there or to already go there, like to already, I guess, live there or plan to go there at some point. Here's my suggestion for you. So let me see. You go there. I think it's either should be this street, maybe. Yeah. So couldn't find the location, but could totally find this. New Takumi München. Highly recommended. Good ramen. That's my recommendation. Uh, so they have a new Takumi in there, and I like it. Anyway, the event was also nice. So let me show you some pictures. So somebody had a plushie. There were talks. There was a ZML talk by Renee. And then we went to I don't know how to pronounce it, sorry. One of these places. I used to know how to pronounce this stuff. I don't know anymore. Owenbrow, whatever. It's like one of those. Oh, come on. Oh, they only show the beer. Restaurant. Yeah. It was like this thing. Very German. There's a bunch of those. We went to the main one, I think. So yeah, it was nice. It was overall a very nice event. Highly recommended. I think that they're gonna organize another one because, I mean, if you go to YouTube and you search for Zigtoberfest, guess what? They have a YouTube channel, and they started posting videos. And what I think it's particularly interesting about this is that having a YouTube channel kinda hints at the fact that they probably plan to make another one in the future. So yeah, looking forward to that. This wasn't something you put together? Yep, no, it was not. I was just invited. Yep. It was entirely organized by David Sugar. So that's basically other people wanting to do something nice for themselves, which is nice. Another funny detail about the event is that so when we went there, they had it had this very German angle where they gave us so there were like crates, like plastic crates filled with bottles, and the bottles were Spezi bottles. So Spezi is a soda, which is a mix of cola and orange soda. So think of cola mix Fanta. And they love this. Personally, I'm not sure I love this, but I can drink it. It's fine. I don't mind it. And yeah, it was very funny. So they had basically a ton of Spezi, and so you could drink Spezi and eat pretzel. So they had 2 bags full of pretzels. So you could take your pretzel, take a Spezi, drink the Spezi, eat the pretzel. It was funny. It was very, very nice. They had like normal Spezi, zero sugar Spezi, also water, sparkling water for those who just want water. So yeah, that was really nice. Uh, I wish I could find a picture of yeah, it kind of looks like this. So the reason why I'm pointing out the crate aspect of it is because in Germany, returning empty bottles is how can I say? It's like it's very important for these kind of things. Normally, shops that sell you um the bottles, they like the price structure kind of includes that you should bring back the crate and all the bottles. So basically, I think that in practice, like you basically overpay, and then once you bring the empties back, then you basically get some of the money back. I'm not sure actually if that's how it ended up happening for David, but I think that's what normally happens in Germany. So in any case, like bringing back empty bottles is it's a very important thing. And so there's this concept of you take from the crate, you drink it, and then you put it back in the crate. So you basically transform a crate from full bottles to empty bottles. It's a transformation process. So you don't throw them away; you put them back in the crate. That's the thing. Yeah, I think you're seeing it pictured here. Yep, you basically turn capped bottles into decapped bottles. That's the idea. Okay. So let me go get my tea, I guess. And then we can start looking into things. We'll probably make a new zine release today. And maybe we can start strategizing about the next big thing for zine, because I think people had already enough time to play with this. I think it's time we break everything again for everybody. So I'll be right back. Where did he go? Peekaboo, I'm back. I exist even if I'm not in the camera frame. I know. Incredible, huh? But I'm back, so. Okay, let's get started. So, you know what? This is D2. Is this D2? I think that's D2. That goes on a break for now. Hey, Neurosite. What am I up to today? I am gonna do Zine maintainership work. I'm true, I'm part of that tiny tribe in the Amazon where things that are not inside no longer exist. You mean the that's you mean the people who have ADHD? It's like you don't even have to be part of a weird tribe to experience that. Myself included, by the way. When things are put out of sight, I do tend to forget about them, even though I should know on a rational level that they exist. You know how that gets used against me. Whenever I buy something to eat, then my girlfriend thinks I should not eat. You know what she does? She hides it. She not even that much. Like she just puts it in a place, in a reasonable place where all the other food is, just a little bit on the side, and she banks on that. She banks on the fact that I will forget that I got that thing, and then it's gonna stay there. Yep, out of sight, out of mind, and out of mouth. In that case, you haven't got any children? No, I haven't. I mean, I am basically a child in this case. So here's the problems that we are facing. Let me start from the first one. The first one we know about. Git status, git pull, should be good. Already up to date. Perfect. So the main problem is I don't know what these things are saying here. Like, what is this star one? What does it mean? What is this star one? Oh, stash probably. Page.zig. I had changes stashed. I was giving a title to a content section. Oh, I see. Nah, we're getting rid of this change. There we go. Now we're pristine. Okay. The other nice trick is to put the calories in a visible place, calorie tracker. Log everything and despair and how much that scoop of Nutella was. Oh man. You know what? I don't even want to know how many calories was that scoop of Nutella. God damn it. So the problem right now is this. I added logging in the build script. And well, I guess in content.zig, this is still part of the build script. It's a different file, but this gets invoked by the build script. And I have added a log there. I'm logging. And that's cool, except that when I made this change, it was clear that I needed to debug what was happening with the content script. And it's clear that I had forgotten some details about this setup, because what happens is that the build script gets run always in debug. Or is it really safe? I think it's debug. Well, yeah, no, it's totally debug. So it gets always run in debug mode. And so the build runner basically always has logs on, like debug logs on. And that means that basically my logs are spamming everybody no matter what. And that's super freaking annoying. So we need to do better than this. So here's what we do. We basically kind of make our own wrapper. But then if we do this, how do we observe whether we should be logging or not? Oh, that is problematic. I guess we can put a some kind of toggle. We could initialize logging by setting some state inside of this. Yeah, this guy doesn't even have access to B. So, okay, we can do it like this for now, for example. Okay, this is already, so as silly as this might look, this is already a strict improvement over status quo. So because with this, I need a test bench thing. So let's close this stuff for now. Don't need to worry about these things for now. Zine subpages repro, we fixed that one. Yeah, we close this. Git pull. Okay. Zone. Okay, so with this, yes, now complaints, but we don't spam anymore. Markdown syntax error. Must be first under block quote. Oh no. Well, I guess that's another thing that we need to fix. So there's that. But at least it doesn't spam. Now let me change this to true. How difficult would it be to use Markdown with Zine over HTML? I really want to use it for my personal website, but I want to convert all my stuff to HTML. Bowlers, I'm not sure what you mean. Zine does use Markdown. We have our own flavor of it, but for example, the Zine website under content, so it's kind of like Hugo. So like if you're familiar with what Hugo does, that's if you're familiar with what Hugo does, that's kind of it. So you have a content folder that contains Markdown files. I'll get to YDS in a moment. And those files mirror the structure of the final output. So your content decides your website structure. Then you have layouts, and layouts contains the templates. But the templates concern themselves with, well, layouting. So they don't contain the content. For example, my homepage, the homepage of the official Zine website, it's a Markdown file. Now, let me get to the S. The reason why this is an S is because, well, the name is SMD, is because it's super Markdown. I don't use YAML. I use another language called Ziggy for front matters. And I have certain extensions to Markdown that other things don't have, other similar systems don't have. I could get more into detail as to why I have it set up this way, although actually the website does have this information in the docs. But so, yeah, you totally have your content in Markdown, and you totally have your layouts in HTML, and it is by design in Zine that you should not be forced to put your content inside of HTML. Can't you just configure the log level for your scope somehow and set it to warning if running in the build system? So on your side, if you're saying something like, if you're implying that you have a clear idea on how to get this to work, while keeping a log like super lightweight, I would be happy to hear it. But the problem is that if we're talking about normal like Zig mechanisms, with Zig, I don't think you can change your log level on the fly, because your log level is a comp time property. and it's usually set up in your root file. So like you decide your log level. Okay, by default, there is a default setting in the standard library, but otherwise it's your root file that decides what the log level is. And that is, and the problem is that in your build script, you don't have a root file, right? It's the build runner is the root file. And so you don't have a way of tweaking that property. Honestly, I would personally be fine with this. Like I can toggle this on and off myself. Like normal people don't need to debug what's going on in there, right? So maybe this is good enough. And the day that end users should be able to turn on some kind of extra verbose debugging, then that's fine. I'll change it from using zig.log to my own facilities. So I don't know. For now, it seems reasonable. But if you had something else in mind, please do let me know. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. Now, give me a sec. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Let's see. Hey man, what font are you using? Good question. It's the JetBrains Mono font. Is that Helix? It totally is. Yes, I'm using JetBrains and Helix. And Ghosty. Apparently, Ghosty is also going public, is in becoming publicly available soon. So that's also nice. Yeah, IPO. Man, there was one part of his announcement that really was funny, which really makes you think. Actually, that's what I meant to say. So that's his website. Ghosty 1.0 is coming. So he explains basically why he's doing it. It's interesting how his blog post is like kind of redundant. Like he has explained these things again in the past, but he's repeating it for the, I guess, benefit of people who are learning about this stuff for the first time. So, you know, you can see in his communication style that he knows how to deal with the public. Because the public cannot be trusted to, you know, be normal and figure things out. They just, the moment they're presented with something and that something doesn't have all the information, like even clicking a link is already too much. That's also something that I discovered. Hey, Caritam. Hello. So yeah, he repeats things a lot, but he does mention a bunch of new things. But the part that I found very interesting is it's this part. It's the part where he says, I'm surprised how much criticism I received for this approach, referring to the fact that he was doing a closed beta. And a number of entitled people who seem to believe that they were owed something just because I like share my work in progress. I mean, I can totally see this happening, right? Like there's a closed beta and people are mad because they want the thing, but they don't want to get in the beta. And so like a lot of comments on the internet from people that are mad, you can once you're in the business for long enough, you can actually tell that every single time people prop up the weirdest arguments for the weirdest like reasons behind their position, but the core point, they're not gonna say this. They maybe not even realize that that's what it is. But the core problem is that they want this thing, they can't access the thing, and so they're mad. People want Ghosty, can't get in the beta because they don't use Discord. It's still invite only, so even if you do get in the Discord, you don't necessarily get in the beta, blah, blah, blah. And so the thing is precluded from them, and so now they're mad. Now let's find reasons why Mitchell is bad and should feel bad about what he's doing. To be fair, though, it is true that closed betas have an annoying component to them because, you know, it is a thing where, you know, there's people who have it, people who don't have it. Sure. But you need to be aware of the fact that if somebody wants to do it for a project because they just want to take it easy, that is fine, I guess. Now, this brings me, I guess, to what about Jonathan Blow then and Jai? And and I remember making the joke that Jai was paywalled. It wasn't paywalled, just paywalled. You had to pray at Jonathan's shrine, and he'll bestow upon you access to Jai if he likes you well enough. I guess I feel like that the equation is slightly different for Jai because it's a programming language, and refusing the open source route is a game fraught with peril. What's the expression? I guess long story short, the point is if you're making a programming language, you can't avoid being social because that's kind of the point of a programming language. And yeah, in any case, the Jai beta is not run like the Ghosty beta. Ghosty, it's basically just putting making sure that there are not too many issues coming all at once, so that Mitchell can basically add some people to the beta, process them in the sense that they will discover new bugs, fix their bugs, have the people who have joined the beta be able to use Ghosty successfully, add new people to the beta. That's what Mitchell has been doing. I don't think that the Jai beta has been run exactly in the same way. Like people had to send a fucking email to Jonathan Blow explaining what they plan to use Jai for, and I don't know exactly how much how much actual praying needed to be in their email. Like with Ghosty, you would even get you would even get randomly picked by the bot. I think he's scared Jai is not going to be as good as Zig or Odin. I don't think that's his perspective. I would actually, personally, I would suspect that he is very well convinced that what he's doing is superior to Zig and Odin. I think he sees those languages as like low effort copycats, more or less. But at the same time, you know what? I don't know exactly what his mindset about this stuff is, because it is also true that occasionally I do see him posting updates about Jai, and he's making progress, which is good, I guess. But he's also like so fucking slow compared to an open source project, because you know, it's just that an open source project can put in like orders of magnitude more what do you call them, programmer months, whatever, like human effort, human hours into the project. Not every single human hour spent on an open source project will be of a quality comparable to the pristine code that Jonathan can pump out, but it does compound. Weirder Sense is Lobsters, where you have to join their IRC channel and pray they will let you into the inner sanctum. Oh, is that one way of doing it? I didn't even know you could do that. I got my invite because somebody invited me. He was paying people to work on it, but I don't think he's doing that anymore since the release of Braid went so horribly. The re-release of Braid. Oh, so I know about the first half of what you were talking about. I didn't know about the second half. So yeah, people used to work for him. I remember when Abner and a few other people were working on the compiler, and then they all got fired. And then I think there was at least one person. I don't know if you remember. Still is maybe a stream on Twitch. I think. God damn it! I should remember his name. I'm so bad. Oh man, I forget his name. Can somebody remind me, please? But there is somebody who was working on Jai streaming on Twitch recently. Although I haven't seen a Jai stream in a while, to be honest. But I also haven't been watching Twitch much myself. So in any case, then the re-release of Braid didn't bring a ton of money in, huh? Well, I mean, I don't know specifically what the re-release does or doesn't do, but Braid was fine as a game when it came out originally. And I don't know. Personally, I liked playing it the first time, but it's not a game that I feel like has that I would totally want to replay again and feel like amazed by it. But that's me. Yeah. So I guess I can see why that happened. He talked about it on stream a few times about Braid not you're a VAP. I'm just a random loser. Well, I didn't get the invite because I was a VAP. I got the invite because actually I actually got the invite from an actual VIP. Oh, not making money. That's unfortunate. I hope that their new game does well. It looked cool. Although, if I have to be honest, you know what I've been watching? What I watched recently? I watched this. I watch Barbarous King play the Witness. Holy shit! I have to be honest. I kind of share his perspective about the Witness. I know that other people loved it, but I really empathize with Barbarous King in this video. Like, he's basically, I went basically through his same exact thought process, with the difference that I stopped earlier. Like, he was playing this on stream, and I think he pushed to the end because, well, he was streaming. In my case, I was playing privately, and so, you know, the kind of the moment where the game stopped being fun for me, that's kind of where I stopped. But his point is like, if you watch him play, his point is that there's like too much repetition, like too many puzzles, too many tweaks, and every time you solve a puzzle, your reward is another fucking puzzle. And so at some point, it becomes just like, I guess if you really love puzzles, then I guess this is gonna be fucking amazing for you. You know what's gonna be your favorite part? Let me see if I can find your favorite part. If you really love puzzles, see if I can find it. Oh yeah, I think it's here. It's basically this section where basically you're like building these bridges, and every tile is one fucking puzzle. So you solve the puzzle, and that gives you one block, one tile. And then there's the next puzzle before you can solve the next tile. If you're not a huge fan of puzzle games, don't play this game. You're gonna find it boring as fuck. If you love puzzle games, I don't know. I heard people that have had like I don't know. I cannot fully convey their experience because I don't understand it on a fundamental level, but they have had very good words for the game because it gave them an experience. What kind of experience? I don't fucking know, man, because I just not me. So, but if you do love puzzles, then maybe it's gonna be good for you. So he can hopefully be happy for a bit. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever seen that man be happy, but, but I would hope so, that he becomes happy as well, for sure. So okay, basically with this we have kind of solved it. Yeah, sure, at some point logging should be made for people, but it's fine. Logging right now here is for me, and I'm gonna toggle it manually. Oh, did I actually re-enable it? Did they test if I enabled it? Yeah, I did totally enable it. I mean, yeah. Okay, so this is good. What do we do next? So let's see. We did silence the log spam. Should we fix Windows? Now, Windows is more annoying. And let me see if I can even set this up. How do I set this up? So I want window capture, PowerShell. By the way, in PowerShell, holy shit, OBS technology is blowing my fucking mind. So here's what's happening. I typed PowerShell, and by naming the thing PowerShell, it automatically selected PowerShell. Maybe, I don't know if it's a happy coincidence or what, or if it's like amazing technology from OBS or what. I guess we can set it like this, maybe. Why do you have PowerShell installed? That is a Windows PowerShell indeed, yes. What you are observing is a Windows PowerShell. What you're observing is actually Windows PowerShell running on another machine. That one is running on a Windows machine. You see this mouse? That's a Windows mouse. This is a macOS mouse. Look at my macOS mouse. It goes to the right, and it shows up in the PowerShell. I can even make it easier. On the side, PowerShell. On the side, PowerShell. On the side, PowerShell. On the side, PowerShell. So here's the problem, though. Check this out. I run Zigbit serve. I think this might be a little bit too small. Can I, like, what happens if I... Oh, Jesus Christ. I opened the Zoom thing by mistake. Do I scroll? Oh, I scroll. That also reduces the size of the window. Why is Windows like this? Why can't it be normal? Well, so what happens is that... Here we go. Fail to find a parent section. Match for page. We're looking for this page. Notice what's going on with path separators. And then our path separators are actually all backslashes in our index file. So our index file on disk uses the correct platform separator, but here it does not. Railpath docs/supermd. So the problem is we don't always use the right separator depending on the platform. And that's a problem. That is a problem indeed. How do we solve this problem? We kind of have two options. One is we make sure that everything is correctly platform friendly, or the alternative is we just do not do any Windows specific path. So we always use Linux style paths also on Windows. That is the only option, the only other option. So how do we do this? Personally, what I would do is override everywhere we do any path work. I would like to override it with our own implementation. And then I would try first to do Linux style paths everywhere, including Windows. And if that doesn't work, then do Windows style paths, but correctly. I suspect that doing the other paths just leads to better outcomes, but I'm not sure. I'm frankly not sure. Here's why I'm thinking that it is a problem to do platform correct paths. The main problem is this, in my opinion. If you look at the build.zig file here for Zine SSG, guess what's going on here? We are writing down paths everywhere. And so either we find a way to basically, whenever we need to compare these things, we kind of manually allocate another version of the string where we flip these things around or something. Or otherwise, by the way, Windows apparently deals with the other slash pretty well, so it doesn't really need us to use the quote unquote correct slash, and it works. Make a path type and make platform specific comparisons. If I had to, I would, but I don't think I have to. I like these paths, this style of path works with Windows. Like we're not getting any error from Windows related to our usage of these paths. The error that we're seeing here is our own string comparison failing. We have our own system that is searching for the line where this entry is docs supermd index.supermd, which is this guy, but we're failing to match because the slash doesn't match. So I would say, fuck it. Let us do the other one. Okay, how do we make this happen? So how do we make this happen? The issue is that sooner or later you have real Windows paths, and when you join the two, you end up with mix-up crap. Yeah, but I think that even with a mix-up, it works. Like, Windows seems to not have a problem with mixed-up stuff. Although, you know what? I'm actually not 100% sure if I actually do mix them. Because, yeah, I probably do somewhere. But I think that in any case, having our own abstraction is going to pay off, I think. Or, you know what? Actually, let's check another thing first. Let's see what Zig does for us. Mixpaths will work on Windows, but probably not in your own code. I'm not sure what you mean by not in your own code. So what I'm curious about is, well, I guess I can go to the file myself. Okay, so let's see what we have. Is separator join. This is the normal join. Join sep maybe Z is absolute Windows POSIX. Windows parse path is absolute kind known drive network share disk designator resolve windows, resolve POSIX, dir name windows. Sometimes it does care, like literally all tools, robocopy, basically anything that uses slash as an option inputs. Oh, pretty much any third-party tool will work. Oh yeah, understood. In our case, we don't really care, I think, about that. Relative windows, extension, stem, component iterator, root, next. And we're back to his sub. Okay, basically what I wanted to to take a look into is if there was any kind of like path transformation routine from one to the other, but that does not seem to be the case. Okay, I think that what we want to do really for now, no joke, is to basically make our own like tiny join library. And the join library should basically only work with one type of slash. And let's see how that works. Worst case, I don't know, whatever. Let's see how that goes. So where do we put this stuff? Somewhere in source. There's source root, but that has a bunch of stuff. What can we import from the build script? All of Ziggy, the build script for Zine. We have build tools, content and templating. What's in tools? Oh, that's like the executables. Okay, that makes sense. I guess we could put this stuff in root directly. What I meant is your own code will have to handle both separators everywhere to be reliable, so it's better to just use std, fspath, sep, and stay sane. But the problem is that I can't, because users will hardcode paths in their scripts. Like here, this is an example of a website where the user is hardcoding a path in there. So either I copy every single file name that the user can type anywhere and flip around those slashes, or I just standardized on one that works. I could decide to standardize. So sorry, I could decide to flip this. This is basically what Karatam was saying earlier. Just I guess maybe a slight variation of. But then the idea would be you take these inputs here and everywhere else. There's a bunch of places. This is just one example, and just copy the string and make a version with the other slash. But what's interesting is that so far, the only thing that fails are like these comparisons. Everything else seems fine. And that's why I find it interesting. That said, I'm a little bit surprised as to why we think that this is the MD path, and we think that this is the... Oh, it's because that's what we typed down. Okay, so for example, this example here is somewhere where we are placing a link, and in the link we write docs/supermd, which then gets auto mapped to this other thing. I'm curious also of another thing. Oh man, wait, do I even have a PowerShell text editor? I don't think I even have that. Also, why is this so fucking slow, man? I think I was reading that you get like shitty tools on Windows by default if you don't update things, but I'm surprised that I'm getting like a shitty Git. What's going on? Oh no, it's dying. Please, dude, don't give up. It died at 65%. Why? Wait, am I like running out of space on disk on my computer? No. I have a grand total of 6 gigabytes free. Okay, not a lot, but still should be enough. Um, it literally stuck. Oh no, it didn't update itself. What's going on? It didn't update itself. But why is Windows like this? Why is everything like this on Windows? Oh my god. HX. Oh no. Helix on Windows is nothing, right? It is? Holy shit, it is. Get Flow, it works fine on Windows. Oh, right. Let's fucking go, man. It's Windows development time. So we can go into the zone file. Oh no, I need WQ. And now it's dead. Oh, okay. Did it work? Did it die? It did work. There's normalized path. Hey, thank you, FrostDev. Does Helix use beam motions? No, Helix uses Helix motions. Normalized path. Yo. 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 Huh. Interesting. Thank you. And it modifies the slice in place. Too many parameters. So first replace scalar, boom, in place. Collapse repeats, gives you a new length. Then does the dot thing, I guess. So I guess we could use it. But then here's the question. Okay. The one problem is oath. What's that? Path? Path.join uses the native separator, so I think your solution to always use Unix separators can work. Mm-hmm. And for mismatch separators, there's normalized path. I see. So that is interesting. By the way, that's what I was trying to see if we had access to. I just did not expect it to be under Windows. It makes sense. But I expected it to be somewhere else. So, because on paper, at least, you could imagine this problem being present not only on Windows, but I guess in practice it is only present on Windows. So it is what it is. How do we do this? So it's here. Git status. Okay, so we push this. And then I guess, so you didn't really see all of it, sorry, but maybe I can move this up, I guess. But I committed the previous changes. So now I'm going to go here in here, and I'm going to start modifying the Zine in here. So git pull. So how do we do it? No, though, you know what? No. I'm just going to pull stuff from here. Maybe we can make a branch. Windows. Okay, we're in the Windows branch. Oh, I haven't pushed it yet, right? So I'll need to push it first. Let's make some changes. So let's put it in root. Okay, I think, oh, you know what? This is also a good opportunity to create also another thing that I wanted to have, which is function join. It's called like join FMT. Basically, I want to create something that creates a formatter so that we can do joining of paths in a formatter fashion, like in a streaming fashion, instead of allocating everything every single time. That's the kind of stuff that I'm interested in doing. Yep. Okay, so GPA sd.mem.allocator paths. I think we want to implement join as a function of join fmt, honestly. Okay. Yep. Agreed. So maybe we can take inspiration, as in steal some code from the Z implementation. Jesus, so much stuff, really. I mean, it needs to be somewhat like resistant to like duplicated stuff, but Jesus Christ. So let's see. Path length 0. If path length equals 0, return. If 0, allocator dupe. Oh, this is like null termination. We don't care about the use case of null termination. I guess we can remove that. We can remove 0. We can deparameterize the separator. I'm curious why this is like based on, this is not a FMT thing. Like I really want the FMT thing, so I think I'm definitely gonna go for that. First path index. Find first not empty path index. Right, because some strings could be empty. And if strings are empty, then I guess this thing skips them. Calculate length needed for resulting join path buffer. Oh. I see this does a precise unlock. That is interesting. Is any of these even remotely public? You know what? Now I'm curious. Of course, not public. Not public at all. Why would it be public, right? Hmm. Okay, so this does the unlock. copies over the first path. Then for the remaining paths, puts a separator if they disagree. Adjusted path. Okay. I guess this keeps like a character to not repeat it. Mem copy. Move forward. If 0, put a 0 at the end. Hmm. Set predicate. Oh, there's also this. Okay, you know what? Let's do it like this then. Let's use this in a library implementation and see how far we get with that. Okay, set predicate. The question is, did the final thing end with a separator? Okay. So I guess we have our own join that is hard coded to be only forward slashes. Now we just need to use it. So we can start, I guess, from the build system, although the build system seems to be doing fine. Although, to be fair, um, to be fair, yeah, I think as long as we consistently use these, whatever we put on one end will come out at the other end looking exactly the same. That seems correct. So, time to grep for usage of this stuff. For example, in content, join. Ooh, look how many joins we are doing. Okay. How do we do this? Can we do this? Oh, Ooh, this used to not this used to not return an error. I guess we need to catch unreachable. Hey, Rocker Rager. Well, more like fixing it. Uh, it mostly works, but there's a problem with paths. Because Windows has, you know, these paths. We use these paths normally, that kind of stuff. So that needs to be fixed. Oh man, what am I tapping? Oof, okay, so one file done. Only one file though. This should technically still work. So type not a function. Assert is not marked pub. Oh, oops. Expected two arguments, found one. 463. You know what? Let's do the. Give me also the debug flag so that it doesn't take forever to build. Okay, we're back to where we were before. Actually, wait, what? Oh yeah, right here. That's fine. Okay. Git status. Okay. These should actually still be kind of the same. And you know what? Let's do also the -d debug. They should still be the same because we haven't fixed enough things, I think. This is rebuilding a few too many things. Why is it rebuilding 3-seater? Huh. Well, in any case, while we were waiting, so here's what we need to do. We need to search for path.join and just change all instances of that. Only 29? Okay, I expected worse. That's actually workable. Okay, let's see. This is. Oh, this is now searching for docsindex.md with the. Now this is searching for it with the correct path, but with the wrong path in our index. So that's fine. That's fine. So now, yeah, now we keep converting things. I've only just started learning Zig and never used a systems language before. Is there any reason we mostly use const, or I guess use it as the default over var? Is it just to avoid having to clean up the variable memory once it's no longer useful? I assume const switches out the value at comp time. No. So const doesn't mean that the value is comp time available only. If you want something to be okay, let me rewind. There are plenty of things that are marked const that are only known at runtime. So for example, you could have a main function. Let's imagine that this is our main function. You could have a main function where you do const num equals, read input from user. That number is obviously going to be only known at runtime because you're reading from the standard input, right? That's the implication behind this function name. But then you bind it to a const decal, a const variable. So yeah, this is runtime known. It is true that when you have a const outside the scope of a function, so you have, for example, this const here, defining a const outside the body of a function, that is stuff that needs to be known at compile time necessarily. So sometimes const is comp time adjacent, but it is not comp time. Plenty of runtime known values need to be or rather, plenty of const variables end up holding runtime known values. What const does is just make so that you cannot touch that memory afterwards. Var means that you can mutate that variable. Const means that you cannot. And generally speaking, if you don't plan to modify a thing, you make it const so that it is immediately clear that that variable, once set, will not be modified anymore. And so you, as the reader, you can assume that that thing is a known value. Don't need to track everything because, like, you can even search for its name. Like you can like go to references here. Like, by the way, function arguments, those are also implicitly const. Like this title thing, like this variable, cannot be modified in the body of this function because it's an argument, and arguments are immutable. But I can go to references and I can jump in here and I can be confident that, well, in this case it's kind of obvious, but I can be confident that this value, whatever it was when the function was called, that's that in this array thing. Unless, the type is a pointer and whatever they're pointing to can be modified, but that has to do with pointer stuff. So here we don't see any pointer math, any pointer operator going on. So even if this was a pointer, the pointer value itself could not be modified, and so it gets copied verbatim here. So that's what const gives you, basically. It's a way of stating that a variable will not be modified going forward in the function body. That's all it does. It does not have any impact in memory reuse or anything like that. In debug builds, you will occasionally want to, well, not in debug builds, but occasionally when you're like trying to test something out or like benchmark maybe something, like you want to make a trivial example, but you don't want to compile. For example, you want to see the machine code when you do A plus B. But you want to set A plus B in your code, but you don't want the compiler to immediately, do the sum at comp time and just hard code the result in your executable. When you don't want that, you can use sometimes var in debug builds to basically have the compiler not perform that optimization. But otherwise, that's like, these are like, how can I say, like very minor tricks that you can do once you get used to messing around with this stuff. But at its core, just use const whenever, and then when you discover that you need to modify a variable, flip it back to var. That's the whole utility. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And again, it has no interaction with memory usage, cleanup, reclaiming, that kind of stuff. Those are like completely orthogonal concepts. Okay, are we still back to where we were before here? So does const hardcode if the value is already known, or is it just when it's outside the program's scope? Like where you define those consts at the top? I believe there are some special rules to that. So if, let me think about it for a moment. So the way it works is that if the value that the const variable is supposed to hold is resolved at comp time fully, so for example, maybe I can give you a nice example. So let's say that you have this. And here you have const foo equals, 10, 50 plus 100. Then this expression will normally be resolved automatically by the compiler. 150, I guess, in this case. Well, the result ends up, oh God. Bork died. What happened? Sorry. Bugging Bork. You have this. What ends up happening is that this value gets resolved and saved in the executable itself, the final result. Another example of this would be const foo equals banana. Banana and strings in general get interned. I guess here this, maybe I should do this, usize banana, or you could have const foo equals, it's a person, and person is, I don't know. So that's another case where I believe you get interning. So this would also be interned. But you could have something more nuanced. For example, you could have this. So you could have this. You could have Fibonacci. Takes in a number, returns a number. Now, will this be interned or not? The answer is it depends. So, for example, as is, this Fibonacci will not be computed at comp time. And at runtime, first thing that we do once we enter the main function is call Fibonacci with this argument, compute the result, save the result in foo. So this is going to be all runtime. You could do this though. You put a comp time keyword here, you force evaluation of Fibonacci at comp time, and now you're back to where we were before. Like this runs at comp time, results in a number. That number gets saved in the executable. There's a third case, I believe, which is this probably. You can mark the function in line, which basically will turn this function, instead of being a function call, this becomes as if you basically copy pasted the implementation of the function in the, if you copy pasted the implementation of Fibonacci inside of main, which tends to result in full comp time evaluation, but it's a little bit more nuanced, and in general, inline is not a keyword you should use. You only use inline if you know exactly what it is that you're doing, because you're restricting the compiler's ability to make decisions over code, and that's generally not a good idea. But you can do comp time if you really want. So long story short, the relationship between const and comp timeness is a little bit more nuanced. I'll tell you another one. This could be var. You make this var and you make this comp time, and guess what? Now what happens is that the function gets evaluated at comp time. So the result of this gets saved in the executable. First thing that we do when we enter the main function is put that number inside of foo. And then foo could be modified afterwards. And then you have, you have some code, and then you have foo equals 0. That also works. So that's what you're seeing here. It's yet another combination of things that could happen. So varness and mutability is somewhat orthogonal to comp timeness. I would say also, if you're getting into systems programming for the first time, you are totally right in wanting to understand that side of things. What happens at runtime, what happens at comp time, how you can make things more efficient, etc. That's like efficiency. It's basically one of the main reasons why you would want to bother with systems programming in the first place. But I would also say that that takes time, and so keep asking those questions, but don't hyper focus on things like, oh my god, I need to make everything that I can run at comp time. I need to absolutely minimize everything that happens at runtime. Don't approach the subject this way. Focus first on being able to write complex software, well, increasingly complex software, correctly using manual memory management and all the more nuanced tools that you get from Zig. And as you do that, you will naturally learn what it is that it makes sense to force comp time evaluation for, and what is not all that important to make happen at comp time. I'll tell you one thing: trying to make everything that can happen at comp time always happen at comp time at some point starts not only yielding diminishing returns, but it can actually impact your executable in a negative way. So how can I say? Focus on building software, not micro. Don't hyper focus on micro things. Think of the big picture. As you become more you get more practice with the big picture, the details will become more clear to you, and you will start having a more concrete appreciation for when it matters to do this stuff or not. Yeah, no problem. And by the way, these streams are totally a great place to ask questions. So if you are curious about something, or you have a piece of code that you've written and you don't understand why it doesn't work or whatever, feel free to ask. I'm always happy to take a look. I mean, within reason. Like if you hit me with a super complicated piece of code that's like super long, I won't be able to immediately give you great advice, but I will try my best. How often do you stream? Pretty regularly, unless I'm like traveling or doing other stuff. I stream almost daily. I was away, I think, for a couple weeks now, but usually when I'm streaming every day or close to. Okay, so where are we? Where are we with our stuff now? Is this it? What the heck is... Oh. Layout, exes. Is it like this? Oh, that's how it is. File exists in multiple modules. Fuck, I knew it. Oh, in this case, I can do zine.join. Right? Okay, there we go. We're back to where we were before. So let me commit this. Push. Pull. Let's see how we do now. In theory, we should have solved it. If it still barks, then yeah, we need to look into it more. Although technically there was also that PR mentioned before that we need to take a look at. But we should be close in theory. Fail to find the parent section for a page. Rel path is docs/index.smd. And there is no docs/smd here. And I bet you that this is related to that link from before. So yeah, that error happens for a few different files and they fail to find different things. So the example is not always the same. It depends on which we happen to be looking at. Like if I scroll up, there's going to be more with the other examples. Oh, there we go. Now it works, and it's back to complaining about this thing like it does on our end. We also have this problem. So basically we solved it. We totally solved it. Can I see the web server running? So I guess I need to solve like the payoff for making this work will have the ability to see this stuff run on Windows. Must be first under block quote. Block.authors warning. I regress this with a recent commit. I totally regress this with a recent commit. And I know which one did it. And I also fuck, I hate this because it's parser code in SuperMD, and god damn it. So the problem here is in parser, or AST, I guess. The problem is that well, you know what? Let's look at this specific thing. Must be first under block quote. So we're basically triggering this error. Yeah, Frastev, by the way, are you did you actually link to your PR? Because there is one person who was trying to make it work on Windows, and yeah, it took me a while to get to it. Was it like, did you are you at AtomK? Oh god. Oh, nice. Okay, I'm happy to have unblocked you. Yeah, I knew that I knew about you. I remembered. Sorry. It took me a while. It is, I don't use Windows. I'm so sorry. It's like, I just don't want to use Windows. That's the problem. But I am, so I apologize. It took me a while, but I finally got there. Hopefully. And I think that genuinely, I think that with this change, things should be fine. I cannot promise you that the file watcher works particularly well because I haven't tested it myself. I don't know. Maybe you have feedback on that. Have you, when you were able to make the website run, if you ever were, um, did you get hot reloading working correctly from the dev server? Because I have a Windows file watcher, but that was only tested by other people, not by me. And, you know what the bad guy of every cartoon says. If you want for things to be done, it works sometimes. Oh, so sometimes you would not get refreshing, like it would not refresh for you. Did you work on making the Zig language? I am part of the Zig core team, yes. I work at the Zigtoberfest Foundation. No one uses Windows unless they're gaming or forced by their work. Yeah, I'm sorry. I have a Windows machine that I use also for live streaming, so it's not like I'm completely windowless, but I don't do development on it. It's just pain. Sometimes I had to kill and restart the server to see changes to the website. Interesting. So, okay, to be fair, that is entirely on me because Zig by itself doesn't have any trouble on Windows. Like it's just a platform like any other. Maybe not the best platform, probably not the worst either. Like depending on the type of software you're making, Linux can be a much bigger pain in the ass than Windows. Like if you're making anything with a GUI, holy shit, is it a mess on Linux? Or like even audio. Like question for the Linux people here in chat: what audio what audio demons servers do you have on your system running? And by the way, for people who don't use Linux that don't understand what I'm asking, it's like, on Windows or Mac OS, you're saying you're just using whatever the OS gives you. Yeah, there we go. Rohan has ALSA. Yeah, but I'm not asking for music players. I'm asking like what system level audio server you have running. Okay, so we have ALSA, we have Pipewire. Yeah, for sure. Pipewire is everywhere. Audio.enabled equals true. Is that like a NixOS thing? Pulse audio. Okay. There's also Jack. So like if you want to support audio on Linux, you basically have to support at least like 2 or 3 different subsystems. Otherwise it's just not going to be portable on Linux. I think NixOS has Pipewire by default. I think you have to manually enable Pulse Audio if you want that. In any case, yeah, Linux is its own kind of worms. So analyze heading. First child. So we're analyzing a heading here, at least in theory. Node type is a link. So here we're observing a quote that contains a heading that contains a link with block attributes. we set next. We grab the directive. GDK-Qt dualism is a mess too. Oof. Yeah. How good is Ziggy's development? Rohan, I'm not sure how to answer that question. So I don't know. Ziggy is good enough to be used for simple stuff, I would say. It has a working LSP. It has a working schema implementation. The schema is not fully implemented yet, but it's mostly there. How's the progress? I have not made any progress recently on Ziggy specifically because I've been focusing more on Zine and Super HTML. So I would say that for now, Ziggy is gonna stay there for a while more because in my like pile of priorities, I feel like that Super HTML and Zine are still above it. Also Super MD. So I think it will be a while more before I get back to it. But I've seen that there has been an issue. So what I would say though, even though I don't want to focus on it right away, there was an issue opened on it, and I will definitely want to take a look at that issue soonish. So I'm basically what I will do is prioritize bug fixes if somebody is blocked by a bug. But before I do more design work, I will like right now my list of priorities for design work is Zine, Super HTML, Super MD, not necessarily in this order. Audio on Linux was solved like 15 years ago when Pulse Audio took over. I don't know why people still say it's complicated. So what happened to me is that, for example, I was using Port Audio to get multi-platform audio working, which had a ALSA backend, which was running on Matlag's computer, which was working, so it wasn't having trouble. But it was not. It was able to find his speakers, but through the ALSA interface, it would not be able to find the microphone. Microphone would just like his microphones. Well, his microphone. I don't know if he had more than one, but 0 microphones were detected by that interface. I don't know. It is what it is. As for the Pulse Audio stuff, yeah, if you have a Pulse Audio client, then you're good. But let me think what happened with Pulse Audio. Oh, I think you've experienced that yourself, I think. SDL wants a Pulse Audio, system-wide Pulse Audio to be available to compile. And so if you don't have Pulse Audio on your system, then you have to use the FSys option to use the system SDL2. I don't know. I remember that you were pointing out that you had to use the system integration option, but I don't know why. But I did observe that MLAG's build would fail without the system integration option because SDL was searching for Pulse Audio client that he did not have. Andrew also had trouble because on NixOS, if you want Pulse Audio, you can't just install a Pulse Audio package like in a shell, but instead you have to enable Pulse Audio system-wide. So he didn't have basically the Pulse Audio client library at his disposal. So I don't know, maybe audio itself is mostly okay, like it works, but there's still these practical things that I don't know, are annoying, and I stumble upon all of those. Pulse Audio Daemon also needs to be running. Yes, although in this case, no, because you could have a Pulse Audio client, and then if you have Pipewire, Pipewire has a Pulse Audio interface. My FSys issue was because of the Zig SDL2 package configuration, nothing to do with audio. Okay, so I don't know what was failing for you. What I observed failing on Andrew's computer was SDL2 failing to build because it wanted pulse audio client, and Andrew had no easy way of providing that. Oh well, no, this is this is just a normal Thursday on in Linux land. Any plans for Vue transitions API support in Zine? Um, in Zine, you are in control of your HTML, so you decide what you put in there. So just put the right incantation in there to get the Vue transition API stuff, and you'll get yourself a nice Vue transition. That's it. Like you cannot compare Zine and Astro because Astro is a JavaScript framework with a bunch of front end shit happening. Zine is just a humble static site generator. So any weird JavaScript shenanigan that you're doing, that's on you to make. So I don't know. It's orthogonal. Yeah, to be fair, Windows also has a few different audio APIs. And Mac, I think, has at least two. One is the Objective-C. I forget the name of those libraries, but also other systems have a few different APIs. Although they're more standardized since the OS is only one thing at a time. Like macOS, it's one macOS, and so you always have the old one and the new one, assuming that your OS version is new enough. So why are we getting this error? So this should be correct. This is a block with a heading and a block attribute attached to the heading. This should work. I think the problem is that we're analyzing a heading, and instead we would like to be in something like analyze block or something. Analyze block quote. I think that the problem is that I just need to comment this stuff out, Yeah. Content scan took 9 milliseconds, took 4 on macOS. Windows. Windows? This is another one of the situations where the CLI seems to poop itself and then it actually is. working, but I can't tell. Yeah. Why does it do that? Oh, of course, there's no way of copying a link. Like on opening a link from here. What would there be? Okay, I'm checking this stuff on my local browser. Ah, it works. Okay, let me change something as a test. Oh, right. That requires a new terminal, huh? Give me another one. Oh, wait, what do you guys see? Okay, you don't see the other one. Okay, it's fine. Okay, index.md. Let me trigger a change. Let's see what happens. The answer is not match. Oh, God. Oh, no, wait. I think it was just not showing me the update. Wait a second. Yeah, it definitely pooped itself. That is so disappointing, Windows. Holy shit. Okay. So we definitely need to do more work in that sense. But at least we fixed Windows. A bit. Not fully. We fixed Windows a bit. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should also do this. Okay, so this PR adds Git info support. The problem with this PR is that it needs one last piece of one last integration. God damn it. Okay, I guess I can merge it as is and then do the integration afterwards. That's fine. So I've already reviewed the code. It's mostly fine. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Let's merge. Fix branch path on Windows. That seems relevant.